So it is 3:30 in the morning right now. I have not slept for over 20 hours and I just got back from the IMAX Guardians of the Galaxy movie marathon and I have so many thoughts.
And me and my friends are gonna go flying together into the forever and beautiful sky. Lila and Teefs and Flora and me. Rocket.
So Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is the final installment in the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, or at least James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy, and it definitely lives up to the hype. Out of the three Guardians movies, this was definitely the most dramatic of the bunch, as it leaned a lot more towards dramatic scenes because it was going through Rocket's origin story. And Rocket's origin story is probably one of the three main highlights of this film. I've heard a lot of other people say that these Rocket origin scenes really push the brink of what a PG-13 movie is and really comes close to that R rating, but I disagree. I don't think it was grotesque body horror as much as it was just devastation of seeing these animals. Going back to the movie as a whole though, I want to touch up on the comedy for a second just because this franchise has been known for their comedy and some people blame Guardians of the Galaxy for sort of changing the course of Marvel and all these Marvel movies trying to copy Guardians' comedic success and try to be all funny and just completely miss. Well, this film just isn't that funny. You know, like I said, it's a lot more dramatic, and when it tries to be funny, I think it doesn't really land that much. Personally, I believe that the weakest parts of this film were the comedic ones. The second highlight of this film has to be what people have just been calling the hallway fight. The hallway fight is this 4-minute action sequence which looks like it was filmed in one take, but really took 5 days to shoot apparently, and in my opinion, it might be the best action we have ever seen in Marvel. The rest of the action in this movie is decent as well, but the hallway fight is just on a whole nother level that really breaks new ground for Marvel and even superhero movies as a whole. Also, the action featuring Adam Warlock makes me really excited for Gunn's upcoming Superman movie. Obviously, I think it's going to be written very differently than how Guardians movies are written, but I think that the way that Warlock is filmed will probably be similar to how Superman is filmed, and I love the way that they filmed Warlock and the camera angles and the types of zooms and pushes they did on him. I was eating it up, and for me, I'm now very excited for Gunn's take on a Superman movie. And the third highlight of this movie definitely has to be the ending. The ending here is just phenomenal. You know, this is the final Guardians movie and the ending feels very final. And for a little bit I was afraid that it wouldn't. But no, this was a phenomenal ending, and they used a song which I've been listening to for years, so that definitely had an impact on me. Also the fact that I literally just watched the other two Guardians movies, so this ending was super impactful for me, and I was sobbing. Like, I say I cry at movies pretty frequently because I'm just an emotional person, but this had me sobbing like uncontrollably for like a minute. And I was like, what the hell is going on? This is a Marvel movie. This is not the time to stop. And I couldn't stop. And that was really just the impact, and the ending was so beautiful, and you know, the music and just the direction it went in was so perfect for this franchise and really wraps it up in this little bow, which makes me feel so good about it and makes me feel very confident in saying that this is the best trilogy that Marvel has, at least for now. Maybe there will be another trilogy that comes around that's just as good, but really, how much longer is Marvel even gonna be around at this point? You know, are we even gonna get a chance to see another trilogy come around? Because personally, I don't necessarily think so. This movie was great and I had a great time, but it doesn't necessarily give me any more confidence in Marvel as a whole than I had leaving Quantumania. You know, I'm kind of waiting for the Marvels and the Loki TV show and, you know, other things to get more confidence about Marvel. But I just can't count Guardians of the Galaxy because it feels so separate. Guardians has been James Gunn. It's all really James Gunn. And whether or not it was good or bad, my feelings just wouldn't change because I don't really think it has any sort of reflection on Kevin Feige and all the people behind Marvel. I think really the reflection is on James Gunn and his own creative team. But speaking of James Gunn, my faith in him has grown even higher. You know, he hasn't missed on any project for me relating to superheroes, at least to this point. And even if one day he does have a miss, you know, I'm not going to be that disappointed because everyone has a miss at some point. But yeah, I am more excited for his new take on DC and whatever they call it. Are they still calling it the DCEU? Because I have absolutely no idea. But his new take on DC, I am just more excited for it than ever before. I also think that thematically, this movie really completes the trilogy because the first one is really all about friends, the second is all about family, and the third, this one, is really all about yourself. When I say yourself, I just mean like this movie is all about sort of doing your own thing and facing your own fears and carving your own path and not just doing what people want you to do. And with that being said, I am going to be rating Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 4 stars. And if I were to rank the Guardians movies, I would go number 3, Guardians 1, number 2, Guardians 3, and number 1, this is a very hot take and most people have it as their number 3, but my number 1 is Guardians 2. I loved Guardians 2. I was like smiling like a goofball the entire time. And, you know, it's just this perfect blend of comedy and emotions and drama for me. But that's just my own opinion. And I want to ask, what are yours? Do you plan on seeing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? If you've seen it already, how would you rank the 3 Guardians movies? And do you believe that Guardians of the Galaxy 3, if you thought it was good or if you thought it was bad, like, does it change your perception on Marvel at all? I want to hear all of your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for making it this far into the video. If you liked it, feel free to share your support and like and subscribe. You know, this is a very small channel, so your support really means so much. And if you want to hear about other movies coming out later this month, feel free to check out this video right here.